And that little red light means that we're live. What's going on, everybody? It's Monday night. You're on Wrestling Warm Up here, WrestlingRumors.net, here in the Man Cave. Ready to hang out with you, ready to talk about what happened last night on Extreme Rules, and, of course, what will happen tonight on Monday Night Raw. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If not, welcome again. And this is one of the biggest things I want to go ahead right into Monday Night Raw tonight. Something that I at least, and some people agreed with me, I felt like at some point during this whole Shield Evolution deal, Dean Ambrose was going to get the U.S. title taken off of him. It looks like that might actually happen tonight because now, just announced, there's going to be a 20-man battle royal for the United States Heavyweight Championship of the world tonight. So what do you think, John Alba? We're going to shoot to you first. We're going to go to the voice of the voiceless there. Voiceless of the voiceless, Mr. Alex Bisson. Then we'll get to the rest of the panelists joining us tonight. But do we see Dean Ambrose lose the title tonight on Monday Night Raw?
Oh, yeah. It's got to happen. It's a show right after a pay-per-view. It's like when they like to hit the restart button, the proverbial restart button, if you will. It's a good way to progress this program, which it appears we're going to get more of between Evolution and the Shield, and or at least the Authority and the Shield. And I definitely think that this title's heading off him tonight.
All right, B-Song, we didn't see you last night before Extreme Rules. Did you finally get to watch the thing?
I've watched one match, and that was the WLC match. Pretty good match, obviously. Yes. But, yeah, of course, Ambrose will likely lose the title here. It's probably better than what they may have done on SmackDown, where he faced Swagger and Del Rio, I believe, in that handicap match. So I think today will be a very good time to pull the title off, and it'll focus on the Authority even more.
Andrew, you're joining us here. Tell us what you think about this whole deal going on. Do you see Ambrose lose the title tonight?
Yeah, I think you definitely see Ambrose lose tonight. He's held it for almost a year. You know, hasn't done much with it. You know, he's been too wrapped up with the Shield. I think it's going to be good. See him lose the title tonight. Good up and comer.
All right, and of course Ed Call joining us, hopefully without delay this evening. You see Dean Ambrose?
I would absolutely love to see Ambrose lose the title. Curious as to whether or not the winner of the Battle Royal will be in some way factored into the future booking between the two factions, but highly unlikely. It's interesting that Ambrose went an entire year and basically put a title into the background of his booking for essentially a full year, but it'd be nice to see a mid-card title either get unified, as we talked about over the past 4 months or so, or whether or not we see just complete side booking with that. And yeah, it's definitely great to see Evolution make a power play here.
Because it's obviously, you know, this is coming straight from the Authority as a rebuttal as to what happened last night. Of course, yeah. Roman Reigns got the pin on Batista. We're not expected to see Batista for a little while. He's supposed to take some time off to promote Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll see whether or not he's actually on the program tonight, or I would think that he'd actually be there tonight. And possibly something happened between he and Evolution tonight. Possibly, you know, him being injured ribs or something from the spear. Or I don't know. Or the Superman punch that literally looked like, if you look at the slow motion capture of the picture, literally it looks like his jaw just got freaking rocked. So I don't know what they're going to do there. They got to get him off TV. Him taking the pin obviously sets up a play there for that. But we're going to get a 20-man battle royal for that championship. Who are the other 19 people that are going to be in that match?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, I put the title on Barrett. I'd put the title on Barrett. I'd put it on him. And if it's not going to be...
He carries both titles.
It's the perfect way to do it. And if it's not Barrett, it's got to be Rusev. It's got to be Rusev. Rusev or Barrett, in my opinion.
What about Cesaro?
Yeah, what about Cesaro?
That's lateral for him.
Yeah, I don't like the Cesaro play.
No, I mean it could happen, but it's lateral.
2 weeks.
It's lateral, exactly.
2 weeks and the best chance Cesaro has to make any progress though. He's not moving into the title picture.
No, incorrect.
And he's already held it for so long before too.
Right. It's not a good play for him. If you want to move him forward, it's not a good play for him to be the U.S. champion. U.S. champion is just going to get stuck in the mix somewhere for the time being. That's just what happens. And of course, we've heard over and over and over again that they want to. At some point, they're likely going to want to unify these titles. So I like it, John. I mean, have Bad News Barrett take both titles tonight. That would be pretty sick.
Yeah, and I mean, if not him, Rusev, I think would be, especially with how much they push his whole gimmick change last night, where apparently he doesn't care about Bulgaria anymore.
The Russian Bulgarian brute.
And they got, as I referred to it, they got cheap Putin heat by him putting over Vladimir Putin.
Yes. Did you see the interview following?
No.
His interview backstage following, they asked what was going on with that. Renee Young asked that. Lana said, well, Rusev has now moved and lives in Russia.
They just changed.
He is Russian now.
Like that.
Oh, yeah, they're just changing his gimmick.
They just call an audible right there.
They're still calling him the Bulgarian brute. He's just now going to be
the ravishing Russian and
right.
The East European eviscerator.
So the thing is that they're literally, I think they felt that, or I think this is them trying to make a solution for him not getting immediately over and immediately having heat. A lot of people online, especially us, and I know Frank Manzo, Joe Omega of Wrestle Reaction, hate those kind of gimmicks. These unless there's a war going on, unless there's something going on where you can. I mean, that was the thing. Some people know who Vladimir Putin is. So, all right, well, let's play that card and let's see if we can't get some heat on him because we have this character.
Can I ask you something?
But the last few Russian characters that have come out to shoot have not worked. Why? Because we're not in a war with these guys, and there's no the whole patriotic angle can't be utilized as well when you're not actually in conflict with someone else from another country.
Him winning the United States Championship would go along well with the new change, and he's conquered America kind of thing. So he's my number 2 pick, but I think if I'm booking this, I put it on Barrett.
He's my number 1. Rusev is my number 1 pick. I wanted Rusev to win the 30-man battle royal at WrestleMania. It makes him look huge coming out the gate. They just gave him this Russian flag, likely to set up him winning the U.S. title tonight. I literally think that this could happen.
Would you like Barrett, though?
I would like Barrett because I think that at some point they're going to unify these titles, and that's an easy way to do it. Ed, you had a question. Go ahead and ask it.
No, I mean, here's what I ask you, though. We talk about how we're not really buying into the different country bookings nowadays. Is it more of a commentary on how their creative is strained to create these unique characters for these larger men? So we're reverting to these old stereotypes?
Well, no, I think it. I mean, okay, let's talk. I mean, you want to talk about creative? Let's talk about Vince McMahon. We always somehow get around to this, so let's talk about him again right now. Vince McMahon knows that certain things work. Okay, he's a brilliant promoter for wrestling. These stereotypes, these gimmick characters have worked for ages, going back to the late 30s and the early 40s with the German characters that came out, like Fritz von Erich and some other huge guys like that were just nasty German characters. Why? We were in conflict with Germany. The reason that we had so many Russian characters in the late 70s and 80s is because we had the Cold War going on. I mean, that's why these things exist. That's why these characters worked so well. Mr. Fuji was one of the biggest heels of all time. The Iron Sheik is one of the biggest heels of all time. Why? Because we had a conflict with the Middle East. I mean, this was something that was happening. He knew it, and he could be, those guys that play those characters can be the most hated people on the planet if they play their cards right. Cesaro was trying to play the anti-American. Did it work for him? No. How many other guys that came through? Kozlov, did that work? No. I mean, how many other people you want to bring in? Heidenreich, when he first came in, did that work? No. Because they're not owning their character as much as they need to because they're not buying into it themselves. And B, we're just not in conflict with those people anymore. And so it's just not as... Now, if you... I mean... Go back and think about the last time a character like this actually worked. And I could go to like 2005 and look at Daivari and Muhammad Hassan. That worked for a moment. You know why? And it worked for about 6, 7 months. You want to know why? Because we had just come off the heels of 2000, of 9/11, and we had also, we were in the war with the Middle East, so it kind of worked for a few months. I mean, the pop for Hulk Hogan coming back with, carrying the American flag and attacking them at WrestleMania. I mean, that was a huge thing. And that's when that character worked. And if you wanted to push the PC boundaries some more and do some more of that, you'd probably have to go Korean route at this point, right? Because everybody's just, right now the words that are getting exchanged back and forth from nation to nation is from North Korea to us and vice versa. So I think you'd have to go like a Korean route. Well, but again, in my opinion, I just don't know how far as this Ivan Drago type character that they're going for with Rusev, who, if I grew my hair out and shaped into a goatee, I could double as. This guy literally. Rusev Crusher. Lana knows.
It means get a girl like Lana. That's fantastic.
Yeah. So don't tell my wife. No, I think that one of the things that's obvious though is that the guy can work. Last night I thought it was going to be it was a quick match. Yes, it was under 3 minutes, right?
2 minutes 47 seconds.
I couldn't believe that it actually was a 3-minute match, but we got to see more from Rusev. Like from bell to bell, he actually did more in the ring. If you've ever actually watched him compete on NXT, you know that he does get some time to do some work in the ring. It's usually with jobbers though, so it's not really that
very
great.
athletic.
But R-Truth got to put in some actual offense last night, and it was like I don't all these people that hate on R-Truth, and he entertains me every time he goes out there with his athleticism. I'm not an R-Truth mark, but he makes me enjoy what I'm watching when he's out there as far as what he's doing in the ring. I don't have to hear him on the microphone, but I do enjoy seeing him work. I always have since he was K-Quick. It's just something. I've enjoyed the guy.
Getting rowdy.
Best mic work he did was last night.
Right. But that was the thing. Like I've enjoyed him. Obviously Xavier Woods took a bad bump outside, didn't do much, and then got thrown around again afterwards. We didn't get the double camel clutch spot that we all assumed we would. But nevertheless, we got to see some great athleticism from Rusev. And for me, you want to build this guy up and try to get more heat on the whole Russian angle, put the U.S. title on him. It's not going to do much because it's not going to go that far with that character because it's just not working because we don't have conflict with Russia. That's very evident at the time,
Can I just, and I don't know how you guys would feel about it because it's not a heel. Adam Rose is debuting tonight.
I was thinking that.
How out there would that be to put it on a title? I mean, I don't think it would happen, but I think for a debuting star that they have so much faith in to give him 2 matches on NXT and then to bring him up to the main roster as that character.
Warhead, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen.
I mean, I'm
not going to say it's not going to happen, but I personally don't think it should.
I think they want to test the mark the Warriors out with Adam Rose first.
Right. I mean,
this
isn't a surefire thing like Paige. They knew Paige was going to, be an instant hit.
What about Bo Dallas?
I don't believe in that.
I don't think they debut 2 stars on the same day.
A lot of the money in Adam Rose is in his entrance, and they wouldn't skip his entrance in a battle royal on his first night on.
And the feature in the entrance will
God,
be
I inspired your new lower third. I like that.
Yes.
Get rowdy!
We're getting rowdy tonight. But please look at that picture, by the way. But no, I mean, for me, it really is between Barrett and Rusev for 2 very different reasons. Obviously, Barrett is in the middle of what may be the biggest push of his entire career so far, and then Rusev makes the most sense from gimmick. So for me, it's one of those 2 guys. I would highly doubt it's anyone else.
I agree.
Do you think that with Barrett?
Go ahead.
I was. Yes. If you think, do you think Barrett can actually make something of this by say December or so? Do you think if he plays it right?
I have no idea what you said because you broke up so bad. All I heard was, do you think Barrett?
Do you think that? Do you think Barrett can make something of this push by say December pre Rumble?
What do you mean make something of it?
Or do you think that's I mean, do you think he has a chance at being a contender for the World Heavyweight title?
I mean, it's too far off. Look, I'll tell you what, Doug. I do think he could be a main eventer, but the gimmick has to become a little more serious if it's going to be a main eventer.
Correct.
But I mean, December's a long time from now.
Yeah.
So it could happen.
I don't just say December just because we got to work through Lesnar.
Not this
and
year.
all that
I'm gonna say not this year. Maybe by Rumble. Maybe at the Rumble you see a little thing. But again, like John said, that gimmick's going to have to become a lot more serious for them to actually
And it can be. The whole bad news thing can be a little more serious.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
My thing is they're prepping all these different guys for that right now. Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns will be your next big competitors for the title. That's a given if you watch the product.
And wouldn't Cesaro even be ahead of him now?
Yeah.
I would put Cesaro, Lesnar. I mean, I would put all these guys before Wade Barrett.
You got to remember Batista and Orton too.
You got to think. You got Batista, Orton, and when Batista's there, you got Cena. You also have to think about the fact that they're going to turn Sheamus heel and likely throw him into that route. They view Sheamus way too highly to keep him down at a mid-card level. So they're going to push him back up as a heel into the world title picture.
This is a good problem to have.
Go against Daniel Bryan, which is a very good problem to have.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it right before WrestleMania. Where are all the main eventers? And how many of these guys are just going to get stuck in the
They would probably
mid-card?
even put Mark Henry ahead of him for like one title in December.
Mark Henry's done.
Just for one match.
I'll tell you what, Doug, I actually like the
do
idea. I was thinking about
show
this.
flip-flop thing.
I saw the reports. I saw the reports last night about Sheamus now, quote-unquote, falling asleep during the handicap match. I like the idea that I was just thinking about this now. The heel turn being from indifference of watching the same kind of nonsense and maybe him turning based on that, based on seeing the futility of the mid-card. I mean, it's a bit of a stretch, but that's probably the only way you get a guy like Sheamus.
I'll remind you about this, that there were plans at one point to do Sheamus versus Bryan.
Well, that's what I was saying a second ago. Like, I mean, that's your ultimate goal is that if Sheamus is going to turn heel, it's going to be that he comes out and either tag teams with Daniel Bryan or comes out to, quote-unquote, save Daniel Bryan at some point and then just obliterates him. How do you get somebody that's over like Sheamus Heat? You let him obliterate Daniel Bryan, who's the most over guy in the company. That's how you get him over as a heel. That's how they're going to do it, and I would just go ahead and stamp the Doug O'Mac seal of approval on that thing because that's the only way that they can turn Sheamus heel. And do you see Sheamus in this Battle Royal tonight just because he's a good body?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who else?
Oh, you'll get Del Rio, you'll get Ziggler, you'll get Sandow.
Big Show, probably.
RVD.
Do we get Van Dam, or does Van Dam, Swagger, and Cesaro continue their stuff?
I don't know about Van Dam.
I don't know about Van Dam. I would put him with the guys that he worked in the match last night because I don't see them being in that U.S. title deal.
No.
Probably Goldust and
Swagger.
Goldust and Cody.
They don't need Swagger or Cesaro in that battle royal.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Someone just mentioned Goldust and Cody. This would be another good way to keep furthering
right here, this guy.
But
yeah.
Out of the 20 people, like I'm trying to think, like you said, that you want to keep RVD with Swagger and Cesaro. What other people would you put in there besides that?
It's going to be all lower mid-carders.
Which is what the title's for right now.
Yeah.
Do they put Rollins and Reigns in too?
Of this era, it's the European title of this era.
It's funny. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about
Rollins and Reigns, right?
The Authority could do a little, playing around there by putting Rollins and Reigns in.
Throw the Shield in.
Either beat him up or maybe keep him in the locker room somehow.
It would be interesting.
I don't know. I'm excited to see it because I don't know where they're going to go with it. So, I mean, kudos to the WWE for honestly making me care about a Intercontinental Championship tournament for 4 weeks and then giving me a Battle Royal for a title that's useless and actually making me excited about it.
Because that stuff's exciting.
Kudos to you guys.
They're completely turning a 180 right now. I'll give them credit.
Is this going to be a, one-time thing and we're never, after tonight, the U.S. title is going to go back to obscurity, or do you think?
Depending on who wins.
Yeah.
Probably not.
The thing is, people don't make the title.
No. I mean,
Right.
if
It's
it's
hard.
Barrett,
It's got to be creative booking that makes the title become more prestigious.
Yeah.
if it's Barrett, I mean, it's automatically important then because he holds both titles. Then if it's Rusev, Rusev's going to get a lot of TV time with it. So
that's the thing. It's
But
not.
so did Dean.
And I said that wrong because I literally do believe that it's the people that make the title, not the title that makes the person. So the person is expected to make that title relevant again, and that means they have to go out there and bust their ass and have to get over. The Intercontinental Championship on a bad news Barrett that's really over might actually start becoming a little bit more important if they actually book him in a capacity where he has to defend it, and they actually make it cost something, make it worth something. The same thing would go for the U.S. title, except for it's just time to merge those two titles back together. And I don't care what anybody says. I know that I'm on a completely different page with a lot of people because a lot of people think two mid-card titles would be able to elevate. Well, you know what? They're both shat right now. They're both useless. They're not being used. And if you want to really get one to a prestigious level, scrap the other one and make every mid-carder fight for that mid-card title. And when you break past the mid-card level and you're going to the upper mid-card to main event level, you need to be busting your ass to get to that main title. And those are the two titles that you need to be focused on. And God knows if there's only two mid-card title, or if there's only one mid-card title and one major title, then lo and behold, we're going to have to put mid-carders together in tag teams and have them go after the tag team titles. And that'll make the tag team championships actually relevant again. It'll give us more tag teams that'll actually make sense. And that way we actually get good product from wrestlers that actually are striving to get to a title instead of they're just sitting on their butts backstage like JTG and guys like that. Evan Bourne's been sitting out there with nothing to do. Christian that's had nothing to do since his concussion. And they're just sitting back there collecting checks and doing nothing. Just get rid of both of them, make one.
yeah,
Go
that
back to the Intercontinental title, and
that was a great tag team championship match last night on the pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because that division is so heavy. Instead, we got a freaking WLC match.
They still had 15 minutes to do. They could have.
I'll tell you what, Drew McIntyre took a spot like a champion last night.
You think Vince is going to make a midget title?
It was so graceful. Like, he flipped with such grace that I didn't think about anything. I didn't think about anything like that probably hurt him. I didn't think of anything like that. I was just like, that was pretty. Like, that was like a Cirque du Soleil flip. Like, he did that with such grace that it was just like, oh, well, there's no way that could have hurt. Like, it's like, he's so talented at what he does when he puts his mind to it. The thing is, he's stuck in the 3.5-man band, and he can't do anything with it.
That group needs to end because
people love it, dude. People love it.
Good,
They got a huge pop last night.
Drew has talent.
Yeah,
It's
Drew has-
entertaining.
Los Suestadores got zero reaction. When 3B's music hit, the place went crazy. Now, granted, it's Odd Center, and it is New Jersey, but...
Well, Los Suestadores got a bigger pop than Big E. Whew.
Ow.
No, neither one of them got anything.
Crickets were even silent.
I mean, here's the thing. Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, and Drew McIntyre all can work to a degree. I mean, especially McIntyre. So, people like them. It's just...
Well, they're not serious. And
but you need that, though, in wrestling. You need those kinds of groups. You absolutely do.
Job Squad.
Don't get me wrong. I liked the match last night. I thought it was probably one of the better spot matches for the night. Because if you put that match with two regular-sized people, we would have been talking about how it was a good match.
All I can say is I hit that thing dead on the nail with the drinking game, and there would be people other than the referee who would be little people.
Did anyone hear King go? It writes itself during the match?
Yes, he did. Right itself. He said it right itself. They mocked Vince the entire time.
How many times do I have to say that on this program and then see Jerry the King Lawler? You heard Michael Cole literally ask the little commentators.
Micro Cole.
Micro Cole.
JBL.
He literally said, "Oh my God, who writes your stuff?"
Oh, Kirsten.
It writes itself.
Because they were literally going, "This
that
is
was
the
my
biggest
comment.
match in the history. This is the biggest match in the history of Extreme Rules." These are the biggest competitors in our sport today.
The
And
Giants.
Michael Cole finally just goes, "Hey, Michael Cole, who writes this stuff?" And I'm like, they're literally just trolling internet fans like me right
Yeah,
here.
JBL goes, "I hate that
After I had immediately posted a picture of Vince laughing his ass off on Twitter. This is what we get, and it's the
But-
truth.
I don't know. You're right.
It writes itself.
Right itself.
Anyway, well, Paige is going to defend the title against somebody likely tonight. Who do you think it is? It's not Tamina again.
Bree
Funkadactyl.
again.
No, it's got to be.
Okay. Naomi.
Beth Phoenix. Wait, she's not in. She's not in.
Return.
What's the other blonde?
Natalia.
Natalia?
Natalia.
No.
I mean, who would the heels be? I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Does it matter?
Oksana, Alicia Fox, or heels.
Oh, no, thank you.
They can be heels.
They've already done those matches, though.
I
so
know.
I don't-
Well, that's the thing. You don't have a big until AJ comes back. There's nobody really worth watching. Paige. defend
Eva
the title.
Marie.
That was my problem with having Tamina tap last night.
Let's be real. We don't want to put Oksana in a match because we don't want to get someone hurt again.
It's better than Eva Marie.
That is true.
The roll up.
Fear the roll up.
Justin
Roll
LeBar. Justin LeBar had a hysterical name for her finisher. I'm gonna try to find it.
Oh,
But
yes.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Wait, Paige's
I gotta-
finisher?
no, Eva Marie.
For Eva Marie. And when you realize that Eva Marie's finisher is actually just a roll up.
What did he call it?
I'll keep looking for this, but we can
It
keep.
was called the fruit. It
All
was cool.
roll up
It was
everything?
called the fruit roll.
The fruit roll up.
The fruit
No.
roll up.
It
It was called foot by the foot. Nobody even remembers what foot by the. Anyway.
Of course we do. Come on.
Even
All
Marie's
right,
going to be
all
such
right.
an
Can we talk
afterthought
about,
2 minutes after she's
obviously, On
fired.
the 5-point preview, there's a section about Daniel Bryan extinguishing Kane, and that Stephanie McMahon's going to have words for him tonight, which means it's going to go far. If you've been keeping up with the latest news and rumors on WrestlingRumors.net, you know that there's a possibility of a Buried Alive match taking place at Payback, which is pretty cool. We haven't seen a Buried Alive match in a while.
That's buried alive.
So Daniel Bryan versus Kane Buried Alive is the proposed match for Payback, and we're going to likely build towards that tonight. What do we see happen tonight as far as Daniel Bryan coming? Obviously, do you think we see Daniel Bryan get put in a match? Is there a rematch tonight, or is there Daniel Bryan competing against someone for the titles and Kane comes out and just destroys him?
I say more of the same. Them attacking Bree with Bryan. Kane just going after her again. Set it up.
I'd like to see more
Yeah,
Kane
they
Bryan
were.
games
If
with
Brie
the
was gonna
Titans trying, to
continue-
be honest with you.
If Brie was going to continue being involved in this thing, I think we would have saw her and Stephanie last night.
Yeah.
They're going to keep playing up to her being his wife, but as far as let's kidnap her and carry her off so Bryan has to come save her.
Got to do something more.
Especially if it's going to garner a Buried Alive match.
Yeah, I can't think of a way how to.
I'd have Kane do something really eerie tonight.
Yeah.
Something really like that catches your attention. You're like, oh.
Voiceless. What do you think?
Maybe
yeah,
have him
voices. Where the hell
kidnapped
have
him.
you been?
I just had a,
I didn't watch Extreme Rules.
Really
I
weird thought about
say.
Bryan's dad
Okay,
and
well,
Kane being
obviously you
at
know
the
that Bryan,
gravesite.
obviously, who was Ed's coming in late, I think?
Yep.
B-Song, you know Daniel Bryan defeated Kane in their match last night. Okay, so he's moving on, but there was no Stephanie McMahon, there was no Brie Bella, Bryanson, Danielson, whatever, who cares? There was none of that, and it was just Daniel Bryan and Kane. Kane went through a flaming table even, and there was a forklift involved. You just have to watch the match. But
Yeah.
just know that Kane was defeated, and as Daniel Bryan was walking back up the ramp, Kane sat up, did his whole, amazing, always Undertaker style stuff. They even had the red light on him at the end. He ignited the stage with fire and all that kind of stuff. So he's not dead. He's not defeated. just the battle of the war was won by Daniel Bryan this time around. So Payback's ultimately coming. There's a rumor for a Buried Alive match.
He's never thought about it, I guess.
Stephanie McMahon did not make an appearance, but we know that she had told Daniel Bryan before the match went on that he would become Kane's bitch. So we see Stephanie McMahon obviously tonight in the segment with Daniel Bryan and Kane. What do you think happens here? Do you see Daniel Bryan immediately getting thrown into a match with somebody else and Kane interrupts? Or do you see a segment between the two? They can't repeat what they did last time, where Bryan's just out there, doing a segment, and Kane comes through the crowd. And they've already had Kane come through the ring, so at this point, it's got to be Bryan's in a match, or Kane does something really super creepy with Brie or something. I don't know. Something's got to happen. What do you think happens here?
All right, so I think like you said, we'll probably see Stephanie McMahon probably have a backstage segment with just Kane alone, and kind of like how she did with like Randy Orton, tell him you need to unleash the beast inside you, and then possibly for the main event you could have Bryan go up against a formidable heel, and then there you have Kane enter, maybe like attack him, and then just carry him off the stage to close the show. Is that good?
Maybe.
Ooh, I just got an idea.
Okay. I think I'm gonna steal Ed's idea. If Daniel Bryan would allow it, and I think this is what Ed was saying. I'm gonna give full credit to Ed for this before he cut out when he was talking over Alex. If Bryan would allow it, have Kane show up at a graveyard.
Look. If they're doing Buried Alive, I get where you're thinking with that. But man, if they bring Bryan's father into this.
No,
we already talked about that 2 weeks ago, last week, 2 weeks ago when Bryan's father actually passed away. We already talked about the fact that is not going to happen.
Not in a PG.
This is not Big Show. Whose phone's ringing? This is not Big Show and Big Boss Man. Big Show's dad had been dead for years before that, and this was a different issue. This is not Paul Bearer dying and CM Punk and The Undertaker. So go ahead, Ed. Say what you're going to say, because there's no way in hell to bring his father.
Because here's what I'll say. I'll revise the idea a little bit. Let's say Kane takes Stephanie. Stephanie asks him what it would take to actually put him completely over into a dominant monster. Kane takes Stephanie to a graveyard, an obscure graveyard, and he looks down and says, "This is the world that I live in." He brings a shovel with him and starts to symbolically bury the Yes movement. Maybe puts a Yes towel in there into an empty grave and starts to bury it.
I like one aspect of that, and I like
the graveyard aspect.
I like the aspect. I like the aspect of burying the Yes movement and Stephanie and Kane working together to bury the Yes movement, and symbolically we have a Buried Alive match because we're going to bury the Yes movement.
Well, this isn't. I like that, but the whole go to the graveyard and put a Yes towel
symbolism.
in the grave, that's 1990. That's 1990 cheeseball stuff. I know that they're doing some of that, but dude, if you're seeing how creepy Bray Wyatt with kids can be, like we saw last night on the freaking special event, there's no way that they can't get a little bit deeper and creepier with Kane, because throwing a towel in a grave would be ridiculous. Now, if they went a step further and had a mannequin of Daniel Bryan in a casket in a grave plot, and kind of like when the Undertaker rolled out the dead version of Diesel, right? That kind of stuff. Like have the corpse of Kane or have the corpse of Daniel Bryan in an actual grave. That'd be cool. That'd be better than throwing a towel in. But I do like the bury the Yes.
Well, I'm just spitballing here at this point with that.
No, I do like that part. Just the towel, I think. The thing is that it's not that far. It's not that far off. We might actually see them put a towel in.
Are we gonna see any play with this idea of fire, or is that just never gonna be mentioned again?
No.
Because I hopefully it's never mentioned again.
What?
Well, let me ask this: what did you guys think of the table spot yesterday?
It was blown.
I didn't like it.
Edge did it better.
Maybe I'm in the minority. I liked it.
I liked it.
It could have been performed better.
Because he still had to get up and take the knee.
It could have. He literally.
It would have been better if he did the knee.
If he would have let it. If he would have let it. Yes, thank you. Something more climactic would have been better. And then he just shook him off the ropes into it. For me, if they would have let the table burn for a minute, obviously there wouldn't be much of a table. But at the same time, you light it, you get up on the apron, a running knee to the face would have been an incredible spot. And or you get back in the ring and try to pick Bryan up, and you try to throw him out, and then he winds up doing this spin and throws you over the top into the table. I know that they did it for safety reasons and to still have some kind of cool spot where he's on the apron and he just kind of falls back into the area of the table that there was no fire in, because there was only fire on the outsides of the table and not in the middle. So he tried to aim, he tried to turn sideways and aim straight for the middle of the table, which is smart. I mean, it's safe. I understand. But and I'm an ECW mark. People didn't used to care. Okay, like the Dudleys didn't care. When they put people through flaming tables. It was, we're going to do a freaking 3D through a flaming table. Like, that's the spot where the flaming table, I mean, even with Edge and Foley, we got a spear through the ropes onto the floor through a flaming table. That's a spot that's deserving of a flaming table. I'm going to light this table in 2 spots and then get up on the apron and have Daniel Bryan shake me off into it, and then you watch me turn so that I can land directly in that safety spot. That's not a good flaming table moment for me. It's just not. I mean, I understand why they did it, and I would have loved it if said he would have got up on the ring apron and Bryan would have just kneed him in the face. That would have been awesome. It's all about how you book that, and it's all about how you write that spot. And
the only way I could see the
headbutt spot was amazing to me. But
the only way I could see the continuity. The only way I can see the continuity of the match where it has to end in the ring and the spot working is, let's say he does a version of the knee from like top rope and the table is on fire in the ring, and he angles it so Kane goes through the table. But I mean it's a little too much happening at that point.
You're gonna try. I mean, to me, you're gonna tell me that Daniel Bryan couldn't have just ran at him and hit him in the face if he was standing on the apron?
Well, he could have did it like
Mad Hops. He could have definitely got up there.
He could have did the suicide bomb onto the table.
Yeah, even that. There's the flying goat. But then you have the chance of him going through it as well. And I mean, it's just, they did it for safety reasons and to have a cool looking spot. That's why they did it. I just thought it could have been more climactic than it was. What do we see with Bray Wyatt, John Cena tonight, and Little Johnny, which is obviously the
guy who told
physical brother of Little Jimmy.
The guy who told off Cam Newton in the NFL Play 60 commercial.
He's gonna tell John Cena his mom's his new favorite wrestler.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles, my new favorite cereal. But
I'm surprised.
no, I mean, you keep it going. I think an I Quit match is the way to go with them for trial number 3. It's usually where they go for match number 3 in these situations. I mean, it's gonna be a gimmick match at Payback.
Yeah.
It's a matter of what kind of gimmick match. It's not going to be a submissions match, So I don't know. I mean,
last man standing?
Could be last man standing, but I think we probably get an I Quit before we get a last man standing with them.
What would Kane do to make him quit? I mean, or not? What would? I'm on the wrong match. What? I was thinking about something else. What would you?
Oh no!
If it was an I Quit match, what would?
Punch and make a wish child in the face?
Why? Am I talking? Bray Wyatt. What would he do submission-wise?
An I
He'd
Quit
have
match.
a choir come around and slowly surround.
But I know he doesn't have to just do a submission. He could get crazy and have him tied up in something. But the point is to have someone say, "I quit," and most of the time that's going to be a submission match, unless you...
I mean, Randy Orton and Cena have had I Quit matches before, and Orton doesn't have a submission.
No, but they're going to throw submissions in. So what would you see Bray Wyatt doing submission-wise?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's done the crab before, hasn't he?
I haven't. I don't remember
That
seeing him in
was
the
that.
busted.
Don't take that serious. That was just me.
No, I'm serious. He's done the crab before, but I don't know. I'm just throwing that there. I mean, I could see Last Man Standing, but I don't
See, I
know.
would think more of a last man standing before I quit between the two of them.
It's either are possible. I can't think of any other scenarios, any other stipulation matches for them.
Obviously, it's not going to be a Ring of Fire match. Obviously, it's not going to be a Buried Alive match. Obviously, it's not going to be a casket match.
Whoever can herd the most sheep.
Maybe. You know, what if it's a
sheep herd scramble?
What if it's a tug of war with Little Johnny?
Question:
Or it's just a fight with the Brawling Buddies. The Brawling Buddies, because it's all about the kids. So
Will they bar Harper and Rowan from the ring, though? Would that be
possible?
Well, yeah, that's my question. You can't really theoretically, you would assume because it's John Cena goes over in the third match, right?
Unless he's actually going to start putting people over.
He's
Okay.
got to put Bray over.
If he okay, that makes sense. But if that's not the case, he has to do something. Like you can't. He has to overcome the odds of Harper and Rowan. Like that's the progression of the storyline, I would think, right? So you need to do a match where he could successfully take out both of
All
them.
three, yeah.
So
well, I could see. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm talking myself out of seeing an I Quit match because I don't see how it would be possible for him literally to defeat. It would be a 3-on-1 handicap I Quit match, basically.
I mean, it's true. I mean, Last Man Standing is certainly possible.
Could you see Cena losing this match because of the other two, and then maybe next pay-per-view having a 3-on-3 would help?
No, because that would be a best of 5.
Now, if they did, I would applaud the WWE again. We're actually going past a 3-match series. It's been a long time since they've done that. It's literally been, all right, let's do 3 and move on.
Let's also see where they go with the Usos and the Wyatt family, too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. If the Usos and Wyatt family are going, you could see a 5-match thing go down and have these things keep going on with multiple tag partners. The payoff would be what? I mean, you would move Bray onto who, and you would move Cena onto who, and where do we go from here towards SummerSlam?
Yeah,
To me, if Bray Wyatt's going to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is rumored,
Possible.
then he's got to be done at Payback. So that would be a best of 3, and that's as far as they're going to go.
I think this is a best of 3, ultimately.
Well, I mean, that's
Wouldn't the next step up for
WWE has given me
onto the title picture? I mean,
nothing. WWE has given us nothing to believe that it's not going to be a best of 3, because it's been a very long time since they've booked so long in advance. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Obviously, am I the only one that thinks we're going to get more kids added to this thing? Is that going to be just Johnny?
Yeah, they're gonna.
I hope not.
More.
Oh, you're going to see an entire group of kids
Tonight.
burn C Nation shirts.
Sure,
They're going to push this whole, now that we've seen one kid defect from the C Nation to the Wyatt family, we're going to get a whole slew of them. We saw a choir, but that was just a choir. We're going to see little by little there's going to be more and more kids popping up left and right, which is super creepy and very awesome.
Cena going to a classroom with a bunch of sheep children in it.
Or what if my idea is they all have their shirts, they're all in the front row. It's like they're making a Make-A-Wish thing, and they all put on the sheep masks.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be a good spot.
Like the whole
That's not happening.
A whole slew of Special Olympics kids would be amazing. And that's don't laugh. I'm not saying
No, I meant
I'm not dissing the Special Olympics. I'm not dissing special needs people.
No,
I'm just saying I like that idea. Have somebody like a row of Make-A-Wish or a row of Special Olympics people sitting there. They're in their John Cena gear, whatever. He comes out and gives them the T-shirts and stuff like he did last night, and then he turns around and they don't have it. They've thrown it and they're wearing a sheep mask.
Yeah, that's the spot.
Incredible. It'd be incredible. Because then it would really be, holy crap, he's gotten to all of them.
Yeah.
And then John Cena's character has to change.
my God!
I'm not saying it's going to be a heel turn, you marks. I'm just saying it's not going to be a heel turn, but it's going to be a change of character.
You mean
so
they're not gonna do Cena versus Cena? You mean, Doug?
I know that some people were calling for Cena versus Cena because he's already the biggest heel in the industry. Let me tell you something. He is a heel to a certain demographic, and to the other demographic, he is the biggest face in the company. And his merchandise sales proves that he's the biggest face in the company. Do not say that he's the biggest heel. But I will go to the other aspect and say that Bray Wyatt is one of the biggest faces in the company, and you need to get over yourself, But because it's the same thing. It's about the demographics, okay? But to sit down and say that Bray Wyatt is a heel, you've lost your ever-loving effing mind. Because if he was a heel, there would be no cheap pop at the beginning of his entrance.
There'd be no singing.
There wouldn't be. They wouldn't be investing in his character this much. Undertaker wasn't necessarily a heel when he was doing these kind of things to people either. Suck it. Get over yourself.
He's the antagonist.
Exactly. But he's the anti-hero that people can get behind.
Like Austin was.
That good on the mic. You can't. Somebody that's that good on the mic cannot stay heel. They can't. It's too hard of a job. Where do we see if the other two members of the Shield are not thrown into this 20-man battle royal? Where do we see them tonight? In a tag match against Rollins or a tag match against Orton and Triple H?
Can I?
Who's dog? I'm gonna punch it. Frank's not even in this thing, so get that dog to get out of here.
My way to
Still
write
here.
off Batista would be Batista versus Randy Orton, and the first match of the night is that 20-man battle royal. Dean Ambrose loses the title there, and then later in the night this match happens, and as a result, they triple powerbomb Batista and they throw him out.
Why would Batista and Orton be facing each other?
No, in a tag team match. I was saying.
With Rollins and Reigns?
Rollins and Reigns versus Batista.
Yes, that's possible.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
That's possible.
Wait, I've gotten two that's not bad ideas in one show.
So what happens when you actually start thinking instead of just trolling?
I know,
you
right?
You actually put your brain to something instead of just, let me see if I can get, this, let me see if I can just be a sarcastic ass. Then you actually get good ideas, and then I'm going to applaud you for it.
I know, right? It's like I can think.
I know.
Tell you what, speaking of idea that just popped into my head, maybe we'll get Emma Page tonight.
Oh, that would be.
We'll get Emma and Paige. You don't think?
No.
They've had her face faces. They've had her face faces. You guys are acting like there's an investment to be made in Divas matches at WWE's level.
I think that would be a good match.
Well, yeah, we've seen it a million times. It would be a good match.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm just tired of seeing the same old crap over and over again. If I wanted to see the same old crap over and over again, I would watch house shows. Like, I would go to house shows.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do we, and this is kind of like out of left field, do we see that new tag team where you reported of Tyson Kidd and Evan Bourne debut tonight?
Probably not tonight. Let's give it some time. There's a lot on the docket for tonight. We got all this fallout from Extreme Rules.
We could see more El Torito Hornswoggle stuff tonight.
Oh no!
What is the
I pray unto the Lord, unto the little person Lord, that there is no more.
Oh, I hope not.
The two of that.
But we could. Hey, payback. Hornswoggle wants his payback.
Is this because of his movie?
No,
Leprechaun.
Yes. Yes, that's exactly why we're getting Hornswoggle stuff. Is because he's got a movie that's about to come out. That's exactly why. And they figure, well, we can't do the Leprechaun thing like we used to, even though he's going to be in a Leprechaun movie. Let's throw him in with the Job Squad 2013. Let's throw him in there with freaking 3MB and make a 3.5-man band. Let's just do it. Let's just do what we can do. Because it writes itself. He's got long hair now. He's got long hair now. Get him a size 2 in leather chaps.
And he could speak now too, all of a sudden.
Right. He's my son, after all.
He got it for Christmas.
Not only was he the anonymous GM, he's my son.
He's got the McMahon family jewels.
Right. He's got long hair. He has to be in 3MB. Suck him. Just suck it. I can't even think
that
about
angle. That was WWE. That was WWE trying to cover its ass so badly.
Oh, you better believe it was, buddy.
Well, Mr. Kennedy failing drug test helped that one.
They invested.
That would have
Mr.
been
Kennedy,
so awesome. I love Ken Anderson. I don't care what anybody says about the guy. If you don't like him, that's fine. Enjoy your own opinion. I love the guy. I thought he was classic on the microphone. I thought he was awesome as far as, I mean, he's a good worker. He's not great, but he's good. But his charisma is what gets me. Dude, I was so invested in the guy. I thought he was going to be the next, like big guy as far as, like, talking and...
They wanted him to be.
Well,
he pissed off Orton.
I mean, that was the thing. He pissed off Orton, and he was doing drugs. I mean, there was 3 strikes against the guy. Hurt people, hurt himself, and hurt people. Pissed off Randy Orton, and literally pissed a bad test.
Yeah, and he's the guy who actually hurt Cena's pec that year.
Yeah.
With an arm drag, yeah.
He hurt a lot of people.
I knew he hurt people.
And he hurt himself. But the guy, I still like the guy. If I'm going to watch a TNA match, it's usually probably going to be Ken Anderson's. Plus, he's got the best TNA theme song that's out there. Dale Oliver has written like 3 really good theme songs for that company. One being the Scott Hall theme from 2005, 2004, 2002 actually. It was 2002 to 2006. He wrote the Scott Hall theme, which was Marvelous Me, which is a direct ripoff of Those Shoes by the Eagles, which the Razor Ramon theme was also a ripoff of. Fantastic. Mr. Anderson's theme, which is 10 times better than either one of the 2 themes that he used in WWE. And the AJ Styles,
yeah.
The latest one that he had that basically sounded like the intro to Sons of Anarchy. They all 3 were fantastic, but everything else he writes is just total crap and shouldn't be used by anybody. And I think that people like Jeff Hardy and RVD knew that and went outside the company to get their music done, even though RVD's was, oh my God, that TNA theme for RVD was just, I don't know who loves that kind of fusion jazz rock, stoner acid rock stuff. That's just other than RVD. But that song is just ridiculous. But nevertheless, I liked Ken Anderson. I still like Ken Anderson, and yeah, that's why we're getting the Hornswoggle stuff. Is because he literally has a movie coming out. It's also why you're gonna get Batista shoved back down your throats whenever he comes back in a month. All these reports about Batista not being happy.
Oh well.
Dude, shut up! Like you're still getting to work in back in a faction that features Randy Orton, Triple H, Ric Flair. Like you're still at the top here. You came right back in at the top. You're still in the top. It doesn't matter if you didn't get you're refusing a match, which I still think is bullcrap. I think that was done as a work. I think anything he said about refusing a match with Daniel Bryan was a work.
He said how much he likes Daniel Bryan.
Right, that's
probably not true.
That's a freaking work. He's doing it for his character, the deal with it, crybaby heel character that he is. It's a work. And the fact that everybody's taking it, blowing it out of proportion and saying, oh, Batista just doesn't like, he's so pissed that he didn't get to win the title and stuff. Dude, whatever. The guy's getting paid how much money to be here for 2 years? And he gets to promote his movie and still make other movies. If he said, I got to make a movie, I got to be gone for 3 months, they're going to let him be gone for 3 months. Like, it's Batista. Shut your lips. He's marks. Sometimes, man.
Okay.
Take one little thing. That's just like what I said last night, and it's funny that I did start seeing that afterwards. They threw up the fact that Payback is in Chicago, and I said, how long until we start seeing...
It's Mark, he's coming!
How long until we see
coming.
Marks.
He's coming.
I've already seen it. Whatever. Raw starts in an hour and a half. The pre-show starts in an hour. Voice of Wrestling starts in 5 minutes. We're going to let you off and warm up right now. Head over to voiceofwrestling.com. I know last week they wound up not having a show. If they don't have a show again tonight, then guess what? You have an hour to do something like actually, eat dinner, have a life, But hashtag Mondays are for wrestling. VoiceOfWrestling.com. Voice of Wrestling goes on live in 4 minutes. Go check that out. Chris Cash and Nick Paglino from WrestleZone.com. I think Kevin Kelly is supposed to join them.
I think Ross Maxwell's going on too.
Ross Maxwell will probably be there as well. Alex Beason, thanks for joining us as always, brother. Good to see you, even though we barely hear from you. They're always good. They're always good thoughts and good comments when they actually come in. So you can follow him at GlassBoatALB. And then, of course, Andrew, where can we find you on Twitter?
At SecretsMark.
Yep.
Oh, that's you.
The Real Warhood, Warhood at The Real Warhood. John Alba, obviously, at John Alba SFC on Twitter, on the Twitteration. And you can actually follow along with at WrestleRumors tonight. Mr. John Alba will be providing our live coverage right there on Twitter.
It's going to be nice not to live tweet anything other than Total Divas. Oh, man.
It's going to be nice. I've done the live tweeting for the last 3 weeks, so it's going to be fun, actually, to just let you have it back for a week and just be able to write news. So John Alba's going to be on there at WrestleRumors all night, getting us still on that quest to get the 5,000 followers, and you can do that. Actually, we're going to be giving away something tonight, and I'll talk to John about that. But we're actually giving away.
To me, but okay.
I know, hey! We're actually going to be giving away the
Tony Atlas soundboard, all your favorite Tony Atlas clips.
We're giving away the Bret Hart collection, all of Bret Hart's most amazing matches in one DVD. Only people within the U.S. are going to have a chance to win this. Sorry for all of you Wrestling Rumors fans that aren't in the U.S., but only U.S. guys apply here. So, John, just make sure that you try to give that away by the end of the night. Let's try to get us to 5,000 followers. And we're going to, we're going to have fun. It's Raw. It's time to have fun. It's a 3-hour show. So make sure you're following at WrestleRumors, and we'll get you something. If you follow us and get your followers to follow us, you're going to get something. You're going to get a Best of Bret Hart DVD collection. Patrick P. Joe, always happy to have you on, sir. What is your Twitter handle? How can they follow you?
At PJ29.
At PJ29. I'm at Doug O'Mac. Doug McDonald right here in the Man Cave. At WrestleRumors. Don't forget you can get Wrestling Rumors Radio daily on iTunes and Stitcher. It's something that we do every single day. We'll have a new one coming at you right around midnight tonight, so that'll be cool. Make sure you check that out. And yes, we're giving away a free Bret Hart collection tonight on at WrestleRumors. So make sure that you follow us so that when we start telling you to tell your followers to follow us, we're going to pick one of you random 4,820 people to win this DVD if you live inside the U.S. walls. So, yes, and I call U.S. walls because we have gates all over our borders now.
Everyone's sneaking across our borders. Alberto Del Rio.
Now I ask everyone here to rise up and in a strong, stern voice, put your hand over your heart like this and say, We
the people.